A very good morning to all of you students. Initially we had studied the two parts of chapter number 1. Part 1 and part 2 has been finished. Now today we will start the part 3 of chapter number 1, that is leaves. Now the first topic which we will start today is modification of leaves. Okay students, before starting this topic I would like to recall the topics we had studied earlier. So we had studied the function of leaves, means the function leaves perform. There was photosynthesis, transpiration and transportation. Okay. So now what we are going to study is modification of leaves. Now firstly we have to know what is the meaning of modification. Okay. So basically students, what we know that it is a structure of leaf, but sometimes we can see leaves in a tendril form, in a spine form and also in a scaly form. Okay. So the tendril, spine, scale, all are the modification of leaf. In some plant we see students that the leaf modify themselves in these structure to perform their function. For example, we see tendril in garden pea and sweet pea. For the help of tendril, they support their plant by in the process of climbing. Okay, but when we see spine in cactus students, the leaves are modified into spine, and what it helps, it reduce the rate of transpiration, means reduce the rate of water loss. Okay, now scaly leaf we will be able to see in ginger, in onion students, the leaves are modified into scales. For example, in ginger you see students, this structure is known as scaly leaves. Okay, so now students we have to recall the function of these modification of leaves. Tendril is important for the function of support. It supports the plant. Spine is important to prevent the plant from water loss. The scaly leaves protect the plant buds, means the fruit bud, and also they contain fruit in them, means the food in them. Okay students, so these were the 3 modification of leaves: tendrils, spines and scales. Now students, we have to study insectivorous plants. There are also some plant students, those who eat insects, you can say, means they capture insect there. Such type of plant known as insectivorous plants. For this topic we will need some diagram related to it. So just take out your book and open page.
Now students, with the help of this diagram which is present on your page number 11, figure 1.7. See students, the first example I had shown to all of you of the tendril, when the leaf get modified into tendril. See the first picture, leaf tendril for support. This is the example of sweet pea. Okay. Now the second example you can see in picture is of modification of leaves into spine. Okay. So here the picture which is showing on your screen is the picture of prickly poppy. Okay, prickly poppy. Now here in this diagram you can see students, the leaves is modified into spine. And why the leaves are getting modified into spine? To reduce the rate of transpiration, means to reduce the rate of water loss. So such kind of modification of leaves into spine are seen into the plants which need less water or the plants which found in the area where less water is available. Now in the second page, students, see the example of scale leaves. Okay, now with the help of diagram, students, the diagram is showing you the structure of ginger. Okay, and the structure where you can see scales. Okay, now here the scales are protecting the buds, and also the scales contain fleshy part, means the edible part. Okay, now the next topic is, students, insectivorous plants. Before starting the insectivorous plants, students, see in activity 6 one diagram is given. That diagram is of cactus. Here also in this diagram, students, you can see the leaves are modified into spines. Okay, spines. In cactus also leaves are modified into spines to reduce the rate of transpiration. Okay. Now insectivorous plants are those plants who can catch prey. Okay, catch and prey upon some insects. However, they carry out photosynthesis. They also perform photosynthesis, but they also catch insects. Okay. Now with the help of this diagram, there are some insectivorous plants, students. In figure 1.19, the pitcher plant, the bladderwort, the Venus flytrap, the Sweden plant with tentacles. How the pitcher plant capture the insects? See a sac like structure given in the diagram. In that sac they capture the insect. How the bladderwort capture the insects in the bladder like structure. The green structure, students, in the diagram is showing the bladder. Now the Venus flytrap is a trap like structure. You had seen the trap. When the insect feed on them, they get trapped. Okay, and in the Sweden plant with tentacles, at the end of their tentacles there is some gummy substance. When the insects feed on that, they get stick on them and the plant capture themselves. Okay. Now the last point of this chapter, the last topic of this chapter, students, is vegetative propagation in leaves. So firstly you have to know, students, what is the meaning of vegetative propagation. When reproduction, or you can say when a regrowth of a plant takes place with the vegetative part of the plant. Now what is the vegetative part of the plant, students? Leaving the flower, the rest other part of the plant known as the vegetative part. For example, leaves, stem and roots. Leaves, stem and roots are the vegetative part of the plant. Okay, here we are talking about leaves. So when leaves propagate a new plant with its body, okay, when a leaf propagate a new plant with its body, means when a leaf propagate a new plant from their margin or from upon their self, then that propagation is known as vegetative propagation. Here with the help of figure 1.10, students, 1.10, you can see a bryophyllum leaf, students. At the margin of this leaf you can see some small plants. Okay, so here the origin of new plants is taken with the help of leaf. Such type of propagation is known as vegetative propagation, and here the vegetative propagation is taking place with the help of leaf. Okay, student, in activity number 7 you have to vegetatively propagate a new plant with the help of bryophyllum plant. So when you take the bryophyllum leaf, after some time it propagates into new plants, and this propagation is known as vegetative propagation. Okay, students. Now this chapter is completed. Try to do, students, the checkpoint which is present in between the chapters. For example, one checkpoint is given at your page number 14, at the top of the page number 14. You have to do that by your own. If you are not be able to do by your own, tell to me, I will send you. Okay.